Hi, guys. I hope you are having a wonderful afternoon. This is Deshima Schuler, your licensed clinical social worker, just here to talk to you today about the benefits of healing before you are entering into a new relationship. Um, this thing called love is something that has hurt everyone in some form, yet people still seem to crave it and want it. Love is something that we all crave. Love is something that we all desire. Love is something that we all seek until we part ways, and that is through death. However, a lot of people don't understand the benefits of having self-love first and understanding themselves before they enter or let someone else enter into their lives, because we are responsible for our own happiness before we can have someone else make us happy. So I'll just jump right into it because I don't want to take too much of your time. And I know when we do videos, you don't like to watch long videos. So I just want to get straight into it. So when we are in a relationship, sometimes it depends. The relationship can last, it can be long term or it can be short term. And in either way, a relationship can affect us in so many different ways. We can lose parts of ourselves. Sometimes when we are in a relationship, we lose ourselves because we tend to grasp or become a part of our partner's lives. So therefore what they do, their lifestyle becomes our lifestyle. Their friends become our friends. And so therefore some of the things that we're used to doing are things that they do, we start to do. And little bits of us tend to kind of slowly but surely go away. And if you've been in long-term relationships and you've had divorces and you've separated or not separate, but if you divorced or you have had to leave a long-term relationship, it can cause some serious emotional or psychological damages. And some people do not make it out okay. Um, you can look back and go, gosh, I don't even remember the person who I was before I enter this relationship. And that's why it is important to know, if you are still in a long-term relationship, that you are more than just a husband, you are more than just a wife, or you are more than just a partner. You have to do other things to define yourself so that you don't get stuck as just being that person's wife or that person's husband or that person's spouse. Learn how to find your own identity within that relationship, because if that relationship ever fails, it will take an even longer time for you to heal. um, because yes, it's good to be best friends and all that stuff. All of that stuff is very good, but you still need to have your own identity within that relationship. So here are some things. This is why I think it's important for you to be able to heal before. Now, listen to me. Healing is an ongoing process. So when I'm talking about healing, I'm not talking like, you staying single for years and years. You take time and be gentle with yourself. However long you need to take in order to heal, or in order for you to feel comfortable to say, yes, I'm ready to date again. That's what I'm talking about. When you begin to feel whole. Some people get out of a relationship and jump straight into another relationship because you're trying to fill a void. That's not going to help anything. Or you jump out of a relationship and try to get a partner that look just like your old partner, and try to get that new partner to be that old partner. That's not going to help you. You have to do the work to get to know yourself again. And by doing the work, you do that by spending some time alone. Yes, you're going to have some lonely days. And it's not going to feel good, especially when you're used to living with someone or you're used to being with someone constantly, those days, those lonely days can feel horrible. But at the same time, you can do stuff. Like you can go out. You can go out and start doing things like those are times to reconnect with friends. You can start joining organizations, or you can just do nothing. You're just at this point, you're just processing everything. I think this is a good time for you to seek therapy. Um, because when you're doing therapy, therapy is beneficial on all different areas, and I'll touch base on those, like why therapy is important after a breakup, especially when you're trying to genuinely work on yourself. But spending time alone, allowing yourself to grieve the relationship. You're grieving the relationship. You, especially if you have a long-term relationship, you're grieving. It's like a death, you know. Say for instance, you've been with this person for, let's say, 13, 5, 7, 10, 20, 30 years or more. I don't know. Whatever. You've built a relationship with not only this person, but you also built a relationship with their family. So when something happened to a family member of theirs, or if something happened to them, you know, where do I stand? You know, how do I go on? It still affects you too. So you're not just you're grieving the whole relationship. You're processing things. There are stages to grief, and so you have to allow yourself to grieve the relationship in a healthy way. So therefore, because there are going to be times where you're going to want to call, you're going to want to pick up that phone, you're going to want to try to reconcile, you're going to want to try to figure out where did we go wrong, you know. And sometimes it can be a cycle, you know, especially for those individuals who break up, get back together, break up, get back together. So if you are genuinely tired and you're trying to move on with your life, you need to allow yourself to grieve. And so with grieving, you're going to have temptations. You're going to want to go back. You're going to feel sad. You're going to try to bargain. You're going to blame yourself. You're going to feel so many different ways. And so you have to give yourself time to grieve, because that's okay. That's normal. That's a normal process. But then also too, you also want to break those soul ties. And that is really big. And a lot of times when you're going from one person to another, like say for instance, you're trying to get into one serious relationship after another, and this relationship didn't work, and this relationship didn't work. Soul ties are serious. You know, soul ties, if some of you don't know what it is, it's like you're connecting with someone sexually, but that person is sexually leaving a spirit with them after they have slept with you. You know, after they have ejaculated in you, they're leaving a piece of them, a spirit of them in you. You know, sometimes, you know, you ever, you know, you're having sex with them, and sometimes depression start to come along, or you start to feel a certain way. That stuff is real. You start to feel certain ways, and you just like, dang, I never felt this way before. You know, each time you having sex with people, a little bit of them is coming inside of you. That stuff is real. You have to be very protective about who you allow inside of you. So breaking soul ties, I mean, you have been dealing with this person for a very long time, so you are going to crave them sexually. You are going to want them and all of that stuff. So, you know, you have to give yourself time to break those soul ties as well. And that's important. And that's why it's important also too, not to give yourself to every person, even when you're on the dating scene, or, you know, because there are some women that are genuinely out there, and you get in a relationship and you are announcing, hey, I'm in a relationship, and you're trying to have a serious relationship with a man, and then it doesn't work and you're upset. You can't be upset. You know, these things take time. I always tell people in a relationship, give it 3 months. It's a 3 months trial period, like at work. 3 months, you will learn them because they become comfortable. And then after that, then you start to learn their true characters. Certain things start coming out. You'll start seeing red flags. You can see red flags probably before 3 months, but just you can't just give everybody yourself. Soul ties are definitely real. You can look it up, you can read about it, but it is real. Give your chance to learn you all over again. I can remember when I left my relationship, it was like I didn't know where to start. It's like, well, who am I? I know I'm a mother, but I was so used to doing things and giving things to my partner to the point where, I didn't know what I like. I didn't know. I didn't go out with friends. My life was my family. And so I had to relearn things all over again. And so now that I'm doing that stuff, it feels so freaking good because it's like I'm learning things that I do like. I learn things that I don't like. And you're going to be vulnerable too. That's another thing. Vulnerability. You want to make sure that you do not get yourself caught up and thinking that something is love or thinking that something is something that is totally not, or so that's important too. So just give your time to just learn you all over again, learning things that you don't like, learning things that you do like, learning, just learning you, just getting to know yourself all over again. The new you, because you will never get the old you back. You're going to get an upgrade of the old you, but you're not going to get the old you because you have evolved. So you're going to be looking for, because some people go, man, I'm looking for that person who I used to be. Well, that's who you used to be. And yes, that person who you used to be was powerful, mighty, strong, and sweet. But guess what? There's a better person in you now. You're even better. You're even stronger. You're smarter. And you got so much that you have learned through the different trials that you've been through. So don't worry about that, right? So then also too, you want to be able to go to therapy. And I'm going to tell you why therapy is important. We want to talk about, well, why do I keep attracting the same type of men or women? If you keep attracting the same type of people, then it's something that we have to look at within ourselves, because we don't want to keep attracting the same type of people. And that's why we have to learn ourselves, because there's something we are doing or there's something about us that is making us attract the same type of people. I know for me, I knew that I kept attracting men who needed help, or it was like a project. It was something. They either had mommy issues, daddy issues, or they had issues in terms of, they needed help, or they just didn't have their stuff together. And I was always like, oh, well, I'll help you. And I'm mothering them. I'm not here to mother you. That's not my job to do that. And then once you mother them and you help them to grow, then they go off and they do whatever it is they have to do. That's not my job. And so I had to learn to keep boundaries with them myself. That's not my job. That's not my job to mother you. I can't do that. And so that's when I had to learn that when I went to therapy. I did therapy for a while. Yes, I'm a therapist, but I did do therapy myself and it worked wonders. You also need therapy because let me tell you something. When you leave that relationship, you need therapy because you need to be told by that therapist. You also need to tell yourself every day when you look in that mirror that you are not what that person that you left told you you are when you left them. Because when you leave a person, they're going to try to tear you down. They're going to call you names. They're going to say things about you. They're going to do everything to hit below the belt. Why? Because you are leaving an unhealthy situation that was not healthy for you. You are doing the right thing for you. So what they're doing is they're going to try to tear you down. So that's why you need to go to therapy. You need to go to therapy to learn yourself. You need to go to therapy to know what's going on. How can I change me? How can I better myself? But also to let that person, your ex, know that whatever it is that they're trying to tell you you were at the end, because let me tell you something, you may think you know your ex, but you don't know them until you genuinely leave them. You will know their character at the end. And so that stuff is very important, and you need that support, because sometimes, in another series when we will talk about compartmentalizing or being able to stretch your support system so you do not exhaust your support systems. So that's the purpose of having a therapist, so you don't exhaust the support system that you have around you. So what I will say is, one thing is, once you get to that point where you feel like you are ready to date again, I want you to ask yourself this. Do I love myself? Do I love myself physically? Do I love myself mentally? And do I love myself emotionally and spiritually? Like, do I genuinely love myself? Like, can I sit down and say, when I look at this person in the mirror, do I see beauty? Do I see a whole woman? Do I love the mental part of me? Do I love the emotional state that I'm in? Do I love everything about me, the spiritual part of me? And then also, am I starting this relationship for the right reason? Am I trying to get back at my ex? Am I trying to feel a void that's on the inside of me? Am I lonely? We're in quarantine. Am I just dating this person because it's quarantine and I just need somebody around because I'm bored? Ask yourself, am I starting this relationship for the right reason? Also, I want you to ask yourself, do I know what a healthy relationship looks like? And if you don't have support systems, mentors, or parents, or somebody in your circle to show you what a healthy relationship look like, then I hope your therapist can show you that. That's why therapy can be important as well. Do I know what that looks like? Have you dated? Have you had fun? Date. Have fun. Have fun. You have changed. So therefore, let me tell you, my ex is not even the type of man that I even like anymore. I don't even like my ex is not my type, So you have evolved. So sometimes, certain men who you used to like may not be your type anymore. You may like another type of a certain type of men again, so that's why it's important to date. And you're not dating you're dating, yeah, you want to be physically attracted to them, but you want that man to stimulate you intellectually. You want that man to be able to stimulate you intellectually. You want him to bring things to the table, not just material things, but you want him to be able to pour into you. All of that stuff is important. You want him to pour into you, into your spirit. You want him to be able to help you grow. You want you guys to be able to build together. That's what I would want, because guess what? Material things go away. But when that man can come to you and you guys can grow together and build together, stuff like that is important, because beauty fades away. That stuff doesn't matter. But, when you guys are on the same accord, believing the same thing, he's your best friend, and you guys are going for the same thing and trying to build a foundation together, that is what is important. So I would say date and have fun. And if you've done all of those things and you feel like you're ready to date, then you go out there and date. And while you're dating, that's when it's no longer of well, I'm shy, or, I'm not sure if I'm the right one for him. It's, are you the right one for me? Are we the right one for each other? And guess what? If we're not, when you are truly whole, you are okay with saying, guess what? It didn't work out, and it's okay. It's fine. It didn't work out. And you can move on and keep going on to the next. Because what you have to understand is that in life, we can get a lot of stuff back, but one thing we can't get back is our time. So therefore, think and get your healing, or start working on yourself before you jump into another relationship. I hope that this video was helpful to you. I look forward to speaking to you in about other topics. And if you have any questions, or if you want us to elaborate a little bit more, if you want to do a question answer or a dialogue more about this video, please do not hesitate to comment or contact me. You can do Messenger, you can comment. Also, you can visit my website. But I do better with the comments and stuff like that, or you just inboxing me. But you guys have a wonderful day, and don't let no one steal your joy. Bye.